Russia is getting ready to do something massive inside of Ukraine. We know this because the U.S. Embassy just put out a major alert, something that was sent to us via email and put on their own website. And we have to break this down because in it states that the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv has received information concerning a potentially significant air attack that may occur at any time over the next several days. The embassy, as always, recommends U.S. citizens be prepared to immediately shelter in the event an air raid is announced. This is going to be something big because it's coming at a time where there's a lot that is going on and Russia is preparing to continue the war deeper, but the United States and Europe are getting ready to either sanction Russia to the max or give Ukraine every kind of weapon they've ever needed in order to put more pressure onto Russia. So let's go ahead and explain. This announcement comes at a time in which we know that just 3 and 4 days ago, Putin, alongside with his command, told their generals, we need you to put together a list of places inside of Ukraine that we could hit with Orshanik. Orshanik is the intermediate ballistic missile that Russia has. They used it once, and I believe it was in Dnipro. Didn't really cause much damage, but it did, of course, cause fear into people because, well, this ballistic missile goes up and drops things down, kind of rains down on certain things. And we know that, at least as far as we know, air defense systems can't stop this. And so it seems like the threat of that is now making the United States look into the intel. And the intel is saying that, yes, this could potentially be happening. Now, they don't mention that missile by name, but the U.S. only puts things out like this unless Russia has a full-scale thing underway, ready to go, or they've gotten intel that Russia's getting ready to put a large ballistic missile like this in the sky and aim it towards Kyiv like they kind of announced. Something that Putin does from time to time is that he always announces nuclear war and nukes, and he did that just a few days ago, and, just like the rest of us, we all kind of said, well, he does this when he gets painted into the corner and the rest of the world is starting to realize that when Putin does this, he's just doing it to scare folks. He's never going to use nukes, but the Orshanik, he's already used once. Now, how many does he actually have? We don't know. Is it going to be shot down by Patriot missiles? We don't know. What we know is there is a security risk right now that the U.S. government is warning everyone in Ukraine, especially those in Kyiv. This also is happening at a time in which we're seeing the United States come together with several other countries. We're talking about the UK, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Iceland, Latvia, Lithuania, the Netherlands, Norway, and Sweden to present Russia with an ultimatum that starting early next week, we're going to be handing you a 30-day unconditional ceasefire that you must agree to. They're going to give Russia a few days to say yes or to say no. And if Russia says no or completely ignores it, the United States, alongside those countries, are getting ready to further Russian sanctions. Now, we don't have a confirmation on what the sanctions are, who they're targeting, how crazy they are. We don't know if they're going full out everything. But what we do know is this. Donald Trump has woken up to, hey, I don't think Putin wants diplomacy here. We saw J.D. Vance say that Russia's asking for way too much. And we're seeing other European leaders saying to Donald Trump, look, you've tried this diplomacy. We see he's building up on the other side of Sumy. They're building up in Crimea and other areas. He's not preparing to slow down. So diplomacy is out the window. We've seen Steve Witkoff meet with Putin now 4+ times. And so far, nothing. These conversations with Russia are fruitless. And now it's time to officially put pressure onto Putin, which is why, more than likely, we're getting this threat. Russia got word that the United States is getting ready to do these things, and Russia does not want to go to it. They don't want it. So what's the other thing? Well, we've threatened nuclear war, and they know we're not going to do that, but they know that we can threaten the Orshanik, and we've already used it. And this is where we're at. Now, from the ceasefire point of view, we don't know what's inside of it. We know that Ukraine has agreed to ceasefires multiple times, and they've agreed to this one. This is like the 5th time that Ukraine has agreed outright, yes, let's do a ceasefire, at least a full unconditional ceasefire, or a ceasefire via the sky, or energy, or the Black Sea. And Russia, every step of the way, has been no to this, no to that, or they just don't respond. Heck, they just held their 3-day ceasefire. It's still technically going on until tomorrow at midnight. And yet it was completely noisy on the front lines, everywhere. Russia never stopped. They had no intentions of stopping. They just wanted to look good. And I think the big thing is here. This is the second time Russia has done this. And I think every country, including the United States, says, okay, Ukraine, you're right. You know, Zelensky had that phone call with Donald Trump, and I'm sure Zelensky went, Donald, you can open up your own satellites and see. They're not stopping. I could show you the videos and photos. I could show you the commands we've given. And look, over Easter, you can make that massive, mindset of like, oh, well, those troops only had like an hour to stop. This one was given a whole week. So no, you can't come forward and say, well, maybe the troops didn't know. They were going full ham. And you know that the second that midnight comes tomorrow, they're just going to go ham again. And that's why we're getting to the point to where the U.S. Embassy is alerting everyone, because they're afraid and worried that Russia, coming out of this ceasefire after this parade, they're just going to go and say, let it loose, let it go, and we'll see what happens. Russia has been understanding in the sense of how Patriot systems are working. They learned how to get around that. And that's by flooding the area with not only regular drones, but decoy drones. These decoy drones, they have nothing on them, but it does take away from other systems trying to take down things that actually have munitions on them. And so Russia is learning this. Ukraine is asking for more Patriot systems, in which they'll be getting refurbished ones from Israel. But it puts us in a situation to where in the next few days, Russia could do anything, and we don't know what's going to happen. Now, the United States in the past have put out warnings like this, but it's been a while. It's just all, once again, pointing to the fact that Russia, in the next few days, getting ready to do something massive inside of Ukraine, whether it's targeting Kyiv with an Orshnik or sending hundreds of drones and then alongside ballistic or hypersonic missiles at the same time. But that's where we're at this very moment. I'll be sure to keep you updated on TikTok and here on YouTube. So please do make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, as we are trying to grow it. We're at 27,000 right now. The main goal obviously is to hit 100,000. But please do make sure you are subscribed, you turn on notifications, and you give this video a thumbs up. I'm Joey. Stay safe.